Today at Eternal Philosophies, we're diving into the captivating story of St. Patrick, a man whose legacy is woven into the very fabric of Irish identity. Imagine a figure so influential that his teachings not only transformed a nation, but also inspired a global celebration. From the iconic Shamrock to the legendary tale of banishing snakes from Ireland, Patrick's life is a testament to the transformative power of faith. Join us as we explore how this humble missionary became a symbol of hope and resilience, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire millions worldwide. The remarkable life of St. Patrick, early life in captivity, 385 to 408 AD. Born around 385 to 387 AD in Roman Britain, Patrick, originally named Mewin Succat, grew up in relative comfort as the son of Calpurnius, a Roman official and deacon. His grandfather, Potitus, was a priest, providing Patrick with a Christian upbringing, though he later admitted he did not know the true God during his youth. His comfortable existence shattered at age 16 when Irish pirates raided his family's villa at Banavim to Bournier, kidnapping the teenager and carrying him across the sea to Ireland. Sold into slavery in Dalriada, Patrick found himself tending sheep for a master named Milchu, a high priest of Druidism. During 6 years of harsh captivity, Patrick underwent a profound spiritual transformation. Far from home and forced to work in isolation on Ireland's rugged hillsides, he turned inward, discovering a spiritual connection he had never known before. In his Confessio, Patrick writes, "The love of God and his fear grew in me more and more, as did the faith, and my soul was roused, so that in a single day I have said as many as 100 prayers, and in the night, nearly the same." He also noted, "I prayed in the woods and on the mountain even before dawn. I felt no hurt from the snow or ice or rain." Escape and spiritual development, 408 to 432 AD. Around 408 AD, Patrick received a dream in which a voice promised him he would find his way home. Following this divine guidance, he escaped his captors and traveled approximately 200 miles to reach a port. After persuading reluctant sailors to take him aboard, Patrick began the journey back to Britain. The group faced severe hardship, including a 28-day trek through wilderness where they nearly starved. After reuniting with his family, Patrick continued his spiritual education. During this period, he experienced another pivotal vision that would change the course of his life. In his own words, "I saw a man coming, as it were, from Ireland. His name was Victoricus, and he carried many letters, and he gave me one of them. I read the heading, 'The Voice of the Irish.' As I began the letter, I imagined in that moment that I heard the voice of those very people who were near the wood of Vaucluse, which is beside the Western Sea, and they cried out as with one voice, 'We appeal to you, holy servant boy, to come and walk among us.'" This profound experience convinced Patrick that his true purpose lay in returning to Ireland. He traveled to Auxerre, France, where he studied for the priesthood under Saint Germanus. After years of preparation, he was ordained as a deacon around 418 AD, and later as a bishop in 432 AD. Mission to Ireland, 432 to 461 AD. With the blessing of Pope Celestine I, Patrick embarked on his historic mission to bring Christianity to Ireland. His return to Ireland was fraught with challenges. Patrick faced significant opposition from Druids and local leaders who saw him as a threat to their traditional practices. What made Patrick's approach revolutionary was his cultural sensitivity. Rather than attempting to eradicate Irish customs, he ingeniously integrated Christian teachings with existing Celtic practices. One famous example is his use of the three-leafed shamrock to explain the concept of the Holy Trinity, helping the Irish understand how the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit could exist as three persons in one God. Patrick traveled extensively throughout Ireland during his mission, establishing churches, baptizing thousands, and ordaining priests to lead new Christian communities. He engaged with kings and nobles, convincing many to embrace Christianity, and converted wealthy women, some of whom became nuns despite family opposition. The legend of banishing snakes. Among the most enduring legends surrounding St. Patrick is the story of how he stood atop an Irish hillside and commanded all serpents to depart from the Emerald Isle. According to this myth, the snakes slithered away into the sea, symbolizing Patrick's spiritual triumph over darkness and evil. Although Ireland never actually had native snakes, this tale serves as a powerful metaphor for how Patrick's teachings cleansed the land of spiritual darkness, much like Moses' biblical victory over serpents in the Promised Land. By the time of his death, around 461 AD in Saul, Ireland, Patrick had fundamentally transformed the religious landscape of Ireland, establishing a Christian foundation that would define Irish identity for centuries to come. The profound impact of St. Patrick on Ireland and beyond. St. Patrick's influence extends far beyond religious conversion, reshaping the very fabric of Irish society and creating a legacy that continues to resonate worldwide. Cultural preservation and integration. Rather than attempting to eradicate Irish culture, Patrick brilliantly integrated Christian principles with existing Celtic traditions. He recognized the value in local customs and incorporated them into his teachings, creating a form of Christianity uniquely suited to Ireland. He is believed to have introduced the Celtic cross, which combined native sun-worshipping symbology with the Christian cross. Educational and literary legacy. The monastic system Patrick established became instrumental in preserving literature and learning during Europe's Dark Ages. His monasteries served as educational institutions, similar to colleges, where professors typically remained unmarried. These centers of scholarship copied manuscripts and maintained a tradition of learning that would later help reintroduce classical knowledge to mainland Europe. Social transformation. Patrick's teachings fundamentally restructured Irish society, affecting everything from laws to relationships. He particularly emphasized dignity for those on the lower social spectrum, including women and children. In his Confessio, he notes with pride that sons and daughters of the leaders of the Irish are seen to be monks and virgins of Christ. Global celebration. St. Patrick's Day, observed on March the 17th, believed to be the date of his death, has evolved into a worldwide celebration of Irish culture and heritage. From the massive parade on New York's Fifth Avenue to Dublin's festive streets, millions don green attire, enjoy Irish music, and participate in celebrations that honor both Patrick and Irish identity. Symbol of reconciliation. Perhaps most poignantly, Patrick's willing return to the land of his captivity represents a powerful model of reconciliation and forgiveness. Rather than harboring resentment toward his captors, he dedicated his life to serving them, a testament to the transformative power of compassion. 10 most profound quotes from St. Patrick. Quote 1. Christ with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left. This excerpt from St. Patrick's breastplate reveals Patrick's all-encompassing vision of Christ's presence in every aspect of life. It demonstrates how his faith provided complete spiritual protection and guidance in a hostile environment. Quote 2. I pray to God to give me perseverance and to deign that I be a faithful witness to him to the end of my life for my God. This prayer from Patrick's Confessio reflects his awareness of the challenges he faced and his commitment to his mission despite the dangers. It shows his recognition that perseverance was essential to his work in Ireland. Quote 3. For daily I expect to be murdered or betrayed or reduced to slavery if the occasion arises. But I fear nothing, because of the promises of heaven. This striking statement from his Confessio reveals the very real dangers Patrick faced during his mission in Ireland. It demonstrates his extraordinary courage and the depth of his faith that allowed him to overcome fear of death or re-enslavement. Quote 4. And he watched over me before I knew him, and before I learned sense or even distinguished between good and evil. From his Confessio, this reflection shows Patrick's belief in divine providence throughout his life, even before his conscious spiritual awakening. It reveals his understanding that God's guidance preceded his own awareness. Quote 5. I know for certain that before I was humbled I was like a stone lying in deep mire, and he that is mighty came, and in his mercy raised me up. This metaphor from his writings powerfully describes Patrick's transformation during his captivity. It shows how he viewed his suffering as a spiritual awakening that elevated him from a state of spiritual darkness. Quote 6. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me. This quote demonstrates how Patrick's confidence came not from his own abilities, but from his belief in divine support. It became a model prayer for Christians seeking strength beyond their own capabilities. Quote 7. Cast your burden on the Lord and he will sustain you. This simple yet profound advice reflects the core of Patrick's spiritual practice during his times of greatest trial. It encapsulates his message of surrendering one's troubles to a higher power. Quote 8. Each and all shall render account for even our smallest sins before the judgment seat of Christ the Lord. This statement reveals that despite his compassion, Patrick maintained a clear moral framework in his teachings. It shows his balance between mercy and accountability in his spiritual guidance. Quote 9. In a single day I have said as many as 100 prayers, and in the night almost as many. This confession reveals the extraordinary devotion and spiritual discipline that characterized Patrick's life, particularly during his captivity. It demonstrates how prayer became his lifeline and source of strength. Quote 10. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know. Be still. Be. This meditative quote shows the contemplative dimension of Patrick's spirituality that developed during his solitary years as a shepherd. It reveals how he found divine presence in silence and stillness, a practice that likely sustained him during his years of isolation. St. Patrick's journey from slave to saint exemplifies how adversity can become the foundation for profound purpose. Through his cultural sensitivity and unwavering faith, he didn't merely bring Christianity to Ireland. He created a unique spiritual identity that continues to define a nation. The next time cities worldwide turn green each March, remember the man behind the celebration. Not a mythical figure, but a real person whose courage, forgiveness, and innovative teaching transformed personal suffering into a legacy that continues to inspire millions worldwide. What part of Patrick's story most resonates with you? Share below, like this video, and subscribe to Eternal Philosophies for more transformative historical journeys.